views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, my name is Patty Hunter. Welcome to my TV show, Patty's Page. Today's special guest on Zoom is Jeff Gunnarson. He is the National President of Campaign Life Coalition, which is located in Canada, my homeland, where I'm originally from. So, kiddo, how went it was yesterday and the 1st of July?
Well, it was pretty low key here. We live with my eldest son and his family. We just moved to New Brunswick about 2 years ago to be with them because they had twins.
I'm a twin.
So, and now they've had a third child. So 3 under 2, and we're in one house.
Oh, wow.
Large home, but it's still very active, very noisy. But yesterday on Canada Day or Dominion Day, depending on which view you take,
Yeah.
they took off to friends in St. John, and we just did some yard work, and then we headed to a nearby seaside town to have dinner and drinks on the water. So that's how we spent our day.
It must be hard to be on the water.
Well,
Ha.
not really.
Well, how deep? Yes, a lot has happened since 1867, when Canada was born, in a way, you know. When Canada became a sovereign nation of her own.
Yeah.
Back then, we were pro-life in our, what do you call it? It was written in our laws to protect and save Canadian lives.
It was in the British North America Act, and it was actually abortion. The criminality of abortion came into being when we put together our own criminal code in 1892, I think it was. And so 2 years after that criminal code came into effect, that's when the abortion law was put in. And there was no abortion for any reason except for the life of the mother.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't.
So I know, it's hard to believe that even, that long ago that they were still fudging it a bit,
Iffy.
Yeah. But back then, I mean, there might have been more, risks, higher risks, giving birth than there are today. Today, there's no excuse for it. A woman does not die giving birth. She might die of other reasons while giving birth, but it's not the baby that's causing the death. It's not the birthing process that's causing the death. So it's very tricky, fine line to deal with, especially from people that just don't see it that way.
So since 18 what, when abortion was
18, I think it was 1892.
1892?
Yeah. And
long time.
Yeah. So I don't, to be honest, I'm sure it was before 1892 when we were formed in 1867. I'm sure there was something in the criminal code, but perhaps it was too vague, and I'm not, to be honest, I'm not sure exactly how it was worded, but they sought to change that in 1892.
Oh yeah.
And I guess come up with a quote unquote new law to restrict it.
Once that was opened, that abortion, you don't know where I was going to go after that.
Well, what was it? 70 years later or so, 1969.
Yeah.
That's when Pierre Trudeau, our prime minister back then, opened the floodgates to abortion on demand.
That Dr.
Morgentaler.
Morgenthaler.
Yeah.
I had heard stories of him going out to Roman Catholic hospitals, threatening the nuns to have their hospital closed down if they did not allow abortion in it. My late aunt, back in the 60s and 70s, was an abortionist in Toronto.
Really?
That's what made me fight for life. Ever since, that's 50 some odd years ago. I'm 74 now. I've been fighting that a long time. Nowadays, there's abortion, euthanasia, assisted suicide, and gender bending that is happening to our people. What the hey?
It's a question that one asks, especially when you work in the pro-life movement. You ask that just about every day. Why? How? Why are we here? And of course, we do know. I mean, Christians know, and most people of faith, of any kind of faith, know that when you drop God off the face of the earth, things are going to happen. And he's never been. I always say, let's put Jesus back on his throne. He's never been off his throne. But as far as the secular view goes, there is no Christ as king in our country, except from Christians, point of view. So I'm just sort of on a my mantra is to re-acknowledge or reenact Christ as our king and start putting things back in order. I have this picture of a local city council in Quebec. That's the French-speaking province of Canada.
Right.
Taking down, it's a local city council office. The mayor and his councilors are up there, and the picture is showing them taking the cross down off the wall. The big lifelike crucifix.
Yeah.
So it was the irony, the
ignorance.
Like it was just unbelievable to see that. Like to take, thanks for being up there for 2,000 years, but we don't need you anymore, so we're just going to take you down.
Satan's doing that, kiddo.
Just Satan. Absurd. Oh, of course, yeah. And I mean that's a whole nother topic, but basically we are approaching a godless society, or at least that's what our leaders want.
Just like Finland.
And our church attendance, by and large, over the last 100 years, is down. It hasn't been climbing at the rate that it was.
Yeah.
So, back in 20 years ago, I used to work for a Christian company in Ontario, and they had some kind of survey done, and I believe, or it could have been Stats Canada that they were citing.
Right.
But I believe it was 73% of Canadians considered themselves Christian and or were baptized Christian. Cool. It's much less today. I think it's closer to 50% today. So just in 20 years, we've dropped, 40% in our numbers. So, but there is in pockets, you can see revivals happening. There are a lot of young people are getting the fever, so to speak, are being
awareness,
becoming aware and becoming believers.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up without faith, and I didn't start to really believe in God until 1996, like 30 years ago.
Right.
So if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody.
That's right. The Holy Spirit.
Anyway, what we have to do, like I know you want to talk specifics here, but what we have to do, I think, is we have to wear our faith on our sleeves.
America.
People have to know when we're at the grocery store or at the doctor's office or at a lineup for getting, I don't know, tickets or something. People have to know by what we say or how we say things or how we act that we are Christian.
Right.
And there's, before I became a Christian, I used to shrink at the expression "God bless you."
Uh-huh.
When people would say "God bless you," I'd go, "Ooh," to one of those Jesus freaks, and it would strike me though in the heart, right? And
it's
I
always
didn't know
been
why.
in the heart. It's always in the heart. It just has to be activated.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
Spirit.
So it works. Like even those little few words, if you just say God bless you, instead of saying goodbye every time we meet somebody, we can say goodbye, but we can add God bless you. And it's not a insincere greeting or conclusion to a meeting. It's a heartfelt God bless you.
Yeah.
And I do that now on the phone when people telemarketers call me, and I tell them I don't want their product, and I say, thanks very much, God bless you. And you know what? They often say thank you, or they say God bless you back. It's quite incredible. So
since Trudeau turned against our people, especially bringing in abortion and everything else that started after that, I don't think he was a very nice leader.
no, are you talking? Did you say Justin Trudeau?
Both Trudeau,
Oh, yeah,
father and
son. Yeah, the father started it, and the son pretty much finished it.
And it's still going spiraling down.
Yes.
Yeah. We got to get that stopped now. It's like a hurricane.
But now we have abortion on demand in Canada since 1988, because that was when the Supreme Court struck the law, the last vestiges of the law that remained, citing that it wasn't, a lot of people say it went against the Constitution. It didn't, but they called it, it didn't give security of the person to the woman, so because of very sporadic access. So it then turned around and said it's up to Parliament to create a new bill because there should be some protection for the unborn. They actually said that.
Yeah.
And Bill C-43 back in Mulrooney days, Brian Mulrooney, that was the first and last bill on abortion. So, and that actually lost in the Senate. It won in the House, and then it lost. It was a tie, I believe, in the Senate. So it didn't make it through. Thank God, because you could drive a truck through it. There were so many conditions.
Yeah.
Health of the mother and anomalies of the baby. Anything wrong with the baby, any suspected things that are wrong with the baby. It could even be mental health. If you think you're going to have migraine headaches, you can have an abortion. That I'm exaggerating, but it would have been a terrible bill, and we would have had it today, and they would use it as leverage to make it even worse. Because by the way, just as an aside, you should know this, every country in the world that has what we call a gestational limit on their abortion restrictions. So let's just say 21 weeks. That's 21 weeks. Up until then, you can't have an abortion, or up until then,
you can't have it after 21.
And then afterwards, you can't have one.
Right.
Well, we'll take England for example. England had, from way back in the 60s, they had a restriction. Oh gosh, I think it was 21 weeks. Well, they just recently pushed it through to moved it back to, what was it? Is it 25 weeks, or is it all the way up to term now? I forget. But
full term in Canada.
No country that has put in a bill that says no abortions after such and such a week has clawed it back. They haven't chipped away at it. And everybody's thinking in Canada, oh, we just need any bill. If we could just get a bill.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's unfortunate that a lot of pro-lifers want to see any bill instead of just presenting the argument that we should have no abortion and let the politicians work it out.
I don't like it when the politicians work it out because
No.
well, you know.
Yeah, no, I know. When I say that, I mean the pro-life movement should not legislate. You know, we shouldn't come to a parliament and say we want a 21-week law. We should be coming. We want an end to abortion.
Period.
And then let a bill come out of that. You know, that pressure. Nobody said for any of our laws, you know, we want murder stopped at, you know, if you murder a 45-year-old man, you know, we want a law for that. No, we want law for to stop all murders.
The whole thing.
The whole thing, right?
Euthanasia. This all started really going against authority in the 60s. And then it ripped open, didn't it?
Sure. I mean, that was a very sort of obvious demarcation, I guess, but it really has been going on forever. You know, I mean, every generation pushes the envelope, and I don't know why. I don't think anybody knows why.
Anything beautiful they want to destroy.
It seems that way. And so I remember, I mean, I've read encyclicals from popes of 100 years ago saying the same thing that you and I are talking about right now. There's no faith.
Yeah.
There's no faith. There's a decline in church membership. There's a decline in school, religion being taught in schools, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So this has been going on for hundreds, probably thousands of years, really. You know, ever since man came onto the scene, we've been sinning, right? So
sinner, way back.
The original sin is in all of us, and we tend to take the you know, the easier way to live our life. And so we want comfort and security.
Right.
And we don't want to deal with the extremes or the, you know, the stuff that takes us away from that comfort.
That's right. They don't want to say, let's stand up for all human life around the world.
Right. Yeah, you don't see, I mean, we're you know, we're only getting about 5,000 people at our March for Life in Ottawa. We used to get 15 to 20,000, even 25,000, I believe, one year.
Had to work
so
out.
If everybody really believed in life, you know, even if you take the people who are now pro-life in Ontario,
right,
there would still be there should be hundreds of thousands of people at that March for Life.
But there's none. They're afraid. Are they afraid?
They're indifferent. I don't know if they're afraid. I think they're indifferent. Like I said, I think they lead. We all lead a very comfortable life here in Canada. We don't have to worry about where our next meal comes from for most of us. And, you know, we have car payments and mortgage payments and kids to worry about. And I'm not going to go to some March for Life. Like, why? I'll let them do that.
Who are them?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We are them.
But that's right. Speaking of we have to move from the idea that someone else is going to look after the problem. If you look, turn to your council, your own city council, for example. Who is your mayor and who are your councillors? I bet you, except for in the smallest of towns, I bet you don't know who they are. I live in a small town, and I happen to know one of my city councillors because he lives up the street from me.
True.
But I don't know the new mayor, and I don't know any of the other city councils.
They should have town, what's them? Town halls, the mayor, and everybody speak, and find out from each other what we're all about and what we're doing for.
Well, to be honest, they do have town halls every couple times a month. They have
Do people
meetings,
go?
and people are allowed to go. Now, most people don't, right? I've gone to one or two, one
Yeah.
actually. They're dry as all get out. Nobody enjoys town council meetings. That's for sure. There's nothing enjoyable there at all. But the fact is, a lot of our stuff that we see in the culture,
Right.
whether it's, anti-family,
Mhm.
anti-traditional family, anti-Christian, abortion, euthanasia, a lot of that stuff gets talked about at that local level.
Right.
Now, they don't pass laws about it necessarily,
No.
but they talk about it. They support bills.
Yeah.
I've seen it with my own eyes in a former city that I lived in, small city, and the city council passed a motion
Right.
to support a bill that was being promoted at the provincial level.
Mm.
And they just did that at a meeting. They didn't consult with the citizens. So
No.
the town of XYZ
Right.
supports this bill being read at the provincial legislature or at the
Mhm.
federal parliament. So, that's a bit undemocratic, don't you think? That,
They're
here
not transparent with the people.
Yeah. You can't have a city council just unilaterally.
Closed. Sure.
Right.
Oh.
So what I'm getting at is that this is going on decade after decade after decade. And
Mhm.
you and I and all the other God-fearing people and pro-life people in Canada
Mhm.
are scratching their heads going, gee, why do I have a pride celebration in my town? Why is the crosswalk walk painted in the pride colors? Do they not know the history? Do they not understand that is not a symbol of love?
Right.
And why? So you and I sit there and we stand there and we complain, and we might send a letter, we might make a phone call. But what we really have to do is we have to actually not, and I don't mean you and me necessarily, but you must know somebody that thinks like you and acts like you when it comes to the moral values of our culture. That person, if it's not you, that person has to run for city council.
I'll try and do that.
But listen, we can't allow the dog to wag the tail to wag the dog, right? We need to be there, and we've left and let the inmates run the institution.
We have to persevere and take over. Not that way, peacefully.
In Catholic hospitals, we need faithful, strong Catholic nurses
Mhm.
and faithful Catholic boards of directors or directors of the board. And in every schools, the schools are falling apart because the teachers don't have the faith. The teachers
Took it out in the 60s.
and the kids aren't showing up for it either. The kids don't have the faith because the parents don't have the faith. So, we've got to get our own house in order. And it's not just Catholics, it's Christians, period.
Prods and all. Yeah. I was going to say, since they took God out of the schools, we had nothing to hang on to. Nothing to hang on to. And then we started getting rebellious, sexual revolution, going against the authority. And all hell broke loose after that there, going around, down. We're in a culture of death. And we have to climb out of that again. Have the churches start saying something, not be quiet like they did in Nazi Germany. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All clerical. Pastors, priests, rabbis. Start
Yeah,
again.
this recent bill C9 that passed recently that prohibits the use of scripture when described in a public setting,
Wow.
describing that might be connected to a hate message. So but of course, and we expected in the Catholic Church, we expected our bishops to say something.
And they
So
don't.
they did say,
Yeah.
they did write letters,
Yeah,
and they did put it on their website,
right.
but I don't recall ever seeing anything in the news.
Now, the newspaper would not, the media does not look at it that way. They hide it from the people. Well, my
In a
friend,
day. But we need to hear from them, because the church proper, like the people in the pews, are not hearing that message.
they have to.
I know. They're just hearing a very sort of a straight view of the gospel, which is good in and of itself.
But
But
if
how
you
does
don't
that
read the
apply?
Bible,
How does it apply to our life?
yeah.
You go to church on Sunday
Mhm.
and you hear about God's love and you hear about what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
Meanwhile, the government just passed a bill that says you can't use that word that you just heard. You can't go outside and use that on the public street because
No,
it might
what they
be deemed hate speech.
say.
Why wouldn't a priest or a minister talk about that until the cows come home?
They're afraid.
Yeah. Well, they're afraid, or they're indifferent, or they actually don't know. I think a lot of them just don't care.
They don't have the weapons to do it.
Yeah.
Honor God.
I mean, every
Yeah.
priest I talk to
Mhm.
seems to know.
Yeah,
And they do, as far as I know, they do a good job at preaching that.
That's good.
But that's a handful,
You just have to reach out to your neighbor. Start talking the way the pastor or priest about the Lord himself. Not be afraid to talk about without any rejection from the neighbors and friends, whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't know.
Yeah. And, so getting back to C9, it was, it's considered, it's considered a bill to combat hate.
Mm.
And of course, it removed that long-standing criminal code protection for Canadians, for all Canadians who, in good faith, express their arguments or their opinions based on Scripture.
And free speech
So-
is taken away.
So there's no more protection there for that.
Man.
And we're killing our people left, right, and center again, because we're basically living in a post-Christian era, and we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be, but there are enough of us in Canada to rise up and make a change. But I just don't know how. I don't know how to get to.
I say, can we do another interview several days from now to finish? This part one, because I have so much to ask of you, sir.
Okay.
We're almost half hour over your peak.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay.
it was great talking with you.
Yeah, very good. Thanks for having me on too, Patty. It's a pleasure.
And thank you, sir, for what you're doing. Don't stop. God bless you now. And people will see you next week. Hope you have a blessed week. So bye-bye. Have a great day.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my love. God is with us always, for the rest of all our lives.